Today we're going to be walking through how I print neck tags for my clothing brand Never Enough. It's basically a screen printing tutorial because I'm just going to screen print them straight onto the garment. It's super simple. If you already know how to screen print, this might be a little redundant, but if you don't know how to screen print and you're planning on ever learning how to screen print, this video will help you out. So now I usually use Illustrator. I've already made my neck tags. These are for different kinds of blanks, and I have 2 different sets. And one of the things that's really important when you're doing this in Illustrator is make sure that when you select your items to print them out, you go over to here. I'll just show you guys this real quick. In your color swatches, I've already added it, but you hit the plus sign right there. And then when this pops up, you want to make sure that this is set to spot color and it's set to CMYK and everything is turned up to the max. And that will give you a very nice dark print when you run over to your printer. The other secret that I have is this bad boy right here. Oh, there goes that. This bad boy right here has saved me so much time and so many headaches with exposing screens. So if you ever have a chance to pick this up to fill up your inkjet printer, which I've already printed this out, that's a good move. So definitely pick one of those up. But I already have the transparency, so let's go ahead and go burn this screen. I need to find a good lighting solution for this dungeon. But for now, this is kind of what I'm working with. This is my single head press right here. I have a 4-color over there, but we'll be using the single head because I have a special attachment for this one. This is what I use to print my neck tags on. It's a sleeve palette, custom made sleeve palette. You don't really need a sleeve palette. You can print them on a regular palette. You can grab your garment. This one's already screen printed on. It already has the Never Enough stuff on it. You turn your garment inside out, and you use your regular press like this one and just line it up so that where the neck tag is falls when you bring down the screen. So you just put it inside out and you can screen print right there. Super simple, but I like using my sleeve palette. So over here, what we'll be doing is that there's 2 ways to do it. You can literally just put the neck through there and do a push stroke and just print right there. Or you can put it in the other way around. Super simple. And then you do a pull stroke. If you want to get really fancy, you can always make screen printed neck transfers. Personally, I haven't been doing it that much because I'm not doing enough volume to justify printing out 100 of them in one go. So it's just easier for me to just get the screens burned and ready and just print them as I go because I only make a couple at a time. But here is our transparency, and I'm gonna cut them out so that the ones that are made in Peru are separate from the ones that are made in Guatemala. For this, I'll be using a 230 mesh count. There is a lot of tiny details and tiny words, especially with the percentage sign, but it should be pretty simple, nothing too wild. And you also have to think about how you're gonna print it because if you flip it around, it's just gonna depend how you're gonna do it. I just set my screen in there. Get it as straight as possible and just bring it down and make sure that everything is covered up by emulsion. So this one needs to come up just a little bit. Probably like somewhere around here. You just need to go up just a little bit, just right there. There we go. Now it doesn't need to be perfectly straight. I'll just straighten it out once it's on press. This brand of emulsion is 7 minutes and 30 seconds worth of exposure time. I'm just gonna go ahead and get all of this out of the way. Put my piece of glass down. Plug in my bulb. And off we go. 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So now while we're waiting for that to expose, it shouldn't take too long, we'll talk a little bit about the emulsion I'm using. I am currently using Power the water resistant emulsion. It's the purple emulsion. It's a longer exposure time, but it resists more prints. So if I have to print of more than 100 of anything, it won't break down in the long run, which is really good. And if you ever have the chance to pick up a big tub of emulsion, it's gonna save you a ton of money. I'm not even kidding. I've had this tub of emulsion for like a month now, and I've probably coated somewhere around like 40 to 50 screens. And it's still basically full. I didn't really use that much. It's pretty incredible how much buying more will save you in the long run. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left worth of exposure time. So we'll take the chance to kind of like reintroduce myself a little bit to some of you guys who might not know who I am. My name is Miguel, and I started the brand Never Enough back in 2022, I believe. Yeah, I've been doing it for about late 2022. I started Never Enough. It didn't start off as Never Enough. I have rebranded. It used to be called HydroZoom. I started HydroZoom with one of my friends, and throughout the time that I've been doing this brand, my buddy who used to draw for me kind of stopped helping out a lot, so I picked up doing it all by myself, and I was going the Chinese manufacturer route for the longest time, and I got my first samples and they were garbage. So I was like, well, how do you do this? And I learned how to screen print from scratch on YouTube. It's been a very long process to learn how to do all of this, but it's not crazy stuff. If you want to learn how to screen print, all you need are a couple things. You know, you don't need to spend a ton of money. You know, you can just do it on the floor. Get yourself a screen, some emulsion, transparency, a squeegee, scoop coater. That's all you need. You just need also like the sun to expose your screen and a washout booth, which you can just use the hose like we're gonna do right now. I'm just gonna use the hose outside. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment in order to screen print. All you need is the drive and the passion to want to make something that's cool. Okay, that was kind of stupid, but you get what I'm saying. The one thing that I would suggest is make your area look very nice, because mine is a mess right now. But here, let's show you guys what we're printing neck tags for. I've got this one with a wolf on the back of it, and the Never Enough puff print on the chest. Whoa. Same garment, different print. It is the same tank top, but it has the big ass skull on the back of it, which is super wild looking. You can actually see the transparency back there. Yeah, that's what I used to make that screen. And same thing, puff print on the chest. Very nice. Once the screen is done exposing, I'm gonna go ahead and put some water on it. I'm just gonna spray it with water and break down the emulsion a little bit so that way it's easier to wash out. Come here, pee-pee. Hey, little pee-pee. There's our timer, dogita. So now just remove your transparencies from this. You just spray the whole screen with some water, and you'll start to see your image come out. One of the things I like to do is that I will break down the emulsion with my finger on the back side of the screen, because that's where the emulsion is the weakest. So now I'm just gonna wash it out. It should be broken down, so it should be pretty easy. That looks pretty good. So now the key is that you can just see through it, and this has some ghost imaging from the last screen. I had already printed neck tags for the Guatemala shirts, but it happens, you know. I reclaimed it, and now it has the exact same thing on it. So there we have it. We have our screen burnt. It is almost fully dried, basically fully dried. I just let it sit in the sun for a couple minutes. Nothing too crazy. And what we need to print right now is this small label right here. So let's do that. Here, made in Guatemala. So the trick is to tape everything off. And it's a lot of tape, but you know, that's how it's done. I am basically out of black ink. You can't really see it that well, but this is basically empty, so it's my last little bit of black ink that I'm gonna be using for this. I do have a full separate tub. Always be ready to run out of stuff. It just happens, you know? And then just a little bit of ink right there. That should be good enough. They're reading downward, so we're gonna be doing a push, yeah, that thing. And now, since I can see through the screen still because no ink has passed through yet, I can move the t-shirt to make sure that I'm gonna print on it. So that is where I want that to land, right there. And what I'll do is I'll just bring it up a little bit more, make sure that it's really on there. I'll grab a little Sharpie and just gonna mark it right there. That's my dot for this one time. So that way the next time I line up a t-shirt, I don't have to worry about it. Grab your neck tag, remove, super simple. Bring down your screen, flood, clear. Oh, it's stuck a little bit. Oh no, it's missing the top end part. No big deal, just hit it one more time. There we go. Wow, look at that print. Small cotton made in Guatemala. All the details you need for your custom branding. Very nice. Now this just went from a $5 garment to a $40 garment that quickly. And I use a flash dryer in order to cure everything. It's that thing right there. I'll go ahead and flash dry it for about 20 seconds and that will be the cure time. And that is how you brand your stuff. That's super simple, nothing too crazy. It's just screen printing, but a little different, you know, just have to print it on a specific area of a shirt. I hope this video was helpful. If you want more informational videos or you have any questions, make sure to drop a comment if you have any other type of questions. If there's any other kind of tutorial you'd like to see, leave it in the comment section and I'll make it soon. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next time.